one of the short-term effects, and that lasts throughout, is that you feel fatigued. You start getting irritable. Your inconsistency in game will show up. You'll start missing shots, and because of that, it'll drive your irritability further, your anger, which happened to me, of course. And I mean, it's normal. It happens. Like, you're of course going to get frustrated when you get outplayed. Like, why wouldn't you, right? But you can, if you have good sleep and you're optimizing your sleep and you feel well, you're able to navigate through those feelings much easier.
Transmission received. Authorization granted. Welcome to the video.
What's up, dreamers? We're back. Welcome to Driving and Vibing. I just skipped a part. Hope you're having a wonderful day, or had a wonderful day, depending on where you are in the world. How could you let me skip a part? And welcome to Driving and Vibing. What is the vibe? Well, today, I'm driving and vibing. Yeah. That was cool. I want to talk about, what do you want to talk about? Nothing? I want to talk about what I would do if I was looking to pursue a career in video game playing as a professional gamer, as a professional streamer. I guess they're called professional streamers. But if I wanted to make a career out of gaming in regard to competitive play or streaming, becoming a streamer, what would I do now in 2024, if that's what year it is, which is what I think it is? What would I do in 2024? What would I have done differently? And I want to, let's go over a couple of things, just a couple of things I want to talk about. I think this is important because there are a lot of aspiring professional players that want to play professionally, want to play in tournaments, want to compete, do well. And this has been a lifelong dream of mine. I mean, I still, to this day, ever since I was 15 years old, was the first time I realized that I wanted to make it big in Counter-Strike. I wanted to be on that world stage, we'll say. I wanted to play with the best of the best. And I did get to play with some of the best players in the country, United States, that's where I'm from, but which was fantastic. Even just being able to play with them, that was like, I'll take that, okay? And who knows, maybe I'll start competing again in the near future. But I want to go over a couple of things I would do to be able to enhance my journey, to be able to really push my skill level to the best of my ability. And I'm going to have to say the first thing I would do is, we're going to talk about the game, okay? I'm going to optimize my health and wellness, of course. But the first thing I would do is play my game with reason, with like being mindful of how much I'm playing, when I'm playing, how I'm feeling before I play. And I think this is very important because there are times when I was competing in Counter-Strike, many times, where I was so tired, so fatigued that, and sleep never, for some reason, sleep never came, like sleeping more never was a thought in my mind. There's times where I played so tired and so fatigued that I just did not perform well. My inconsistency was there. Inconsistent as in I was hitting some shots, I was missing a lot more. And if you notice this on your good days, you hit a lot more shots than you miss. It happens. But when you're inconsistent, it's up and down, up and down. It's a roller coaster. And then getting outplayed, that happens too. You outplay sometimes, but then you get outplayed more often than not. So I would be mindful of everything, how I was feeling going into my game. I think that would have been the first step. And if I had days, especially, it's hard if you're competing and you're showing up for match day and you feel like that. Sometimes that's inevitable, it happens. But if there are practice days, I would, as much as I could, as long as it wasn't like 4 times a week and you practice 5 times a week, like if it was one day here and there, I would take the day and tell everybody, like, listen, I'm not going to perform my best. I'm not feeling my best. I think I need to take a break. I need a mental break. I need to rest. I need to get some sleep so that I can perform better tomorrow. Because I just, I know that I'm not going to be able to perform. So being mindful of my game would be the first thing I would do. To piggyback off that, I would optimize my sleep because of exactly what I just said. If you don't optimize your sleep, it's a downward spiral of negative effects here. Chronic low sleep has some significant long-term, we'll say damage, for lack of a better term, negative effects on the body, we'll say. It increases risk of diseases. We'll start and stop with that. It's not good, okay? But one of the short-term effects, and that lasts throughout, is that you feel fatigued. You start getting irritable. Your inconsistency in game will show up. You'll start missing shots, and because of that, it'll drive your irritability further, your anger, which happened to me, of course. And I mean, it's normal. It happens. Like, you're of course going to get frustrated when you get outplayed. Like, why wouldn't you, right? But you can, if you have good sleep and you're optimizing your sleep and you feel well, you're able to navigate through those feelings much easier than you would if you're continuously playing video games so much that you're just eliminating some much needed hours of sleep. You're not going to be able to navigate through those emotions as well, and it's going to be a downward spiral. Not only that, it's going to make you hungrier. Lack of sleep drives hunger, which is we're going to pivot into, I would optimize my nutrition. And I'm going to tell you, nutrition and caffeine consumption. I used to drink gallons of coffee and gallons of energy drinks, thinking that was going to help me perform better because of the caffeine and the stimulants inside of there and all the vitamins that help boost energy and all this. Well, that is caffeine, stimulants, and all this it will help you if you don't have a massive tolerance to all the stimulants and everything you're drinking. If you don't have a tolerance. So I built up such a high tolerance that it was almost like I was just drinking a drink that really didn't have any good effect on my energy levels or my reduction of fatigue or my reaction time. Now, I just lost my train of thought, but so I would make sure that the first thing I did was kind of reduce my caffeine consumption so that in times of competition, when I really needed that boost of caffeine, if I were to drink a cup of coffee or drink an energy drink, which I don't condone late at night, but obviously, like if I was competing, I'd probably make that sacrifice. And then the next day, try to do what I could to recover from that. But if you need a boost of caffeine during competition, being able to get those positive effects from the caffeine, the stimulants, the drinks would be much more, for me personally, and this is there's individual variances, but it would have helped me significantly more than me just drinking it all throughout and trying to really keep my energy levels as high as I could at all times. I mean, it just kind of backfired. Excuse me. No joke. This is story time. At one point, I was taking so much caffeine, and I did a little bit of research. This is not as widely known, but it does happen anecdotally. Things are going to be, different for people. But I was taking so much caffeine. I was taking caffeine pills, 200 milligrams. It's just literally straight caffeine. Drinking coffee, drinking energy drinks all throughout the day, and my hearing got affected from that. So I would have my headphones as loud as you could. Everybody in my house could hear from any part of my house the game I was playing, the shots from the guns in Counter-Strike, everything, what my teammates were saying, but I could not hear it. And from some of the research that I did, it was stemming from the amount of caffeine I was taking. So I was having this massive negative effect from taking all this caffeine. And then I stopped taking it and then played again later, a couple months later, and it was like, oh my gosh, I could hear the game. I could actually hear the game. So you got to be mindful of what you're putting into your body, and take it within reason. And in regard to nutrition, I would make sure that further the nutrition, I would make sure that I was trying not to snack during my gaming sessions, because most snacks are going to give you that, unless it's like a healthy snack, like fruits or nuts, and it'll be trial and error. Everybody's different. But if you're doing that during gaming, you're more likely to hit that glucose spike, which will give you the energy, and then that glucose crash, which will, take away your energy. You'll feel fatigued during your game, and you just kind of don't want to do that. Whereas if you're not snacking and you're kind of have a steady level of energy throughout the whole period of your gaming sessions, you'll have that steady period of energy, just like I said. So be mindful of what you eat, put in your body is probably is another important aspect of, working towards a gaming or a streaming career. That way it'll help you prevent burnout. So if you have any tips that you would like or that you use for your wellness journey, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear them. If you like what you heard in this video, hit that like button, helps out the channel. Hit that subscribe button for more content like this. And if you have any topics that you would like me to talk about in regards to health and wellness, by all means, let me know. I would love to talk about them. And I hope to see everybody in the next video. Later, dreamers.